Whenever I'm chasing mountain lion sightings out in southern Ontario, I always have this movie scene that plays in my head on loop. It's a beautiful moment played by Robert Redford, where a man sits down with his daughter and honestly talks about a time when he saw a dragon. He explains how it made him feel and how it changed his view of life forever. This is often how people feel when they talk with me about their own cougar sightings in southern Ontario, an animal which, according to public knowledge, really doesn't live here. What most people don't know is that Ontario in eastern Canada once had their own subspecies of cougar known as the eastern cougar. Sadly, this animal went extinct by the early settlers. However, thousands of individuals today believe that this animal, which once thrived here, never completely disappeared. After nearly a year of investigating these reports, I've come to believe there's more to this story than just escaped pets or wandering cougars from Western Canada. If these animals were coming from out west, then regions like Thunder Bay, Nipigon, or Sudbury should be overflowing with reports and verified cougar cub cases. But they aren't. Actually, the densest clusters of sightings keep appearing along the Ottawa River and the north shore of Lake Ontario, areas which point east toward Quebec, suggesting our eastern cougars may have survived in its vast wilderness, especially since our government's DNA testing has confirmed both South American pet cougars and native North American lineages there since 1991, with sightings of locals on the Gasp Peninsula going as far back as the 1960s. So to find out whether these cougars are crossing the Ottawa River into Ontario, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to go there in person. In this video, I'm going to embark on a 3-day expedition across southern Ontario to figure out the truth. We're going to find out exactly where they're crossing over the Ottawa River, and we're going to also examine hotspots in the area and set up cameras in hopes of catching one on film. To be honest, I actually don't know where I'm going to park the car to sleep tonight. I don't really know what I'm going to find out there. I don't really know what's going to happen going out there on my own. But what I do know is it's going to be a grand adventure. Come with me, guys. Sometimes in life you got to stop preparing. And you just got to go out there and get what you're looking for. So this is going to be my house for the next 3 days. I keep hearing branches snapping in those bushes right there. It's really creepy. But anyway, I'm going to go in here, have a good night's sleep. I'll see you guys in the morning. Guys, there's something up ahead. What was that? What was that? Did you guys see that? Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. What was that, guys? Was that actually a cougar? Is he still around? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Whatever that thing was, it's gone now. House cat, fox, juvenile cougar, I don't know, but that was interesting. After having a huge overreaction to what was likely a house cat, I decided it's best to travel out the Rapez de Joaquin Dam on the Ottawa River. However, after talking to a visitor center staff member, I was actually in for a surprise, as they had no mountain lion sightings in that area. You see, I came here because I thought it was the main place where mountain lions cross the Ottawa River and get into Ontario. However, I learned that is not the case for one major reason. See that in the background? Big mountains, right? It looks a lot bigger in person. Big mountains. But really, there's big mountains on both sides of the Ottawa River, all the way from Mattawa to Pembroke, where there's a lack of sightings, which suggests that mountain lions only like to swim across the Ottawa River when it's level ground on both sides. That way, they don't have to climb down a mountain, swim across the river, and then climb up a mountain to get to the other side. So really, sadly, I'm in the wrong place. I gotta go back south. They're all primed and ready to go. Good morning, everyone. Thankfully, I got a good night's sleep, and I have quite the adventure planned for today. We're gonna hit a bunch of spots. To test my new theories, I decide to visit the Algonquin Park staff in the morning, and after speaking to them for about a half an hour, we seem to be on the same page that there aren't a great amount of mountain lion sightings within the park, which once again directs me south. On the way, I check out Lake St. Peter due to this submitted photograph, but I failed to find any real leads. So I continued yet again on my journey to an area which had a recent report just 18 days ago at Diamond Lake. Since cougars inhabit and defend territories, if the animal was a resident, it still likely resides and lives in the area.
They, like I said, they're highly territorial. A male will occupy about 150 square miles, and all he does is border patrol. It's really that simple.
When you have a limited amount of trail cams at your disposal, it is so important to always place them at the exact right locations. To accomplish this, I've set up my camera exclusively at pinch points. By definition, a pinch point is a location where terrain, vegetation, or human-made barriers funnel wildlife into a predictable path of travel through a tight, narrow spot, similar to like a hallway connecting two open rooms. Using this tactic, even with limited trail cams, I still have a good chance of catching one on video, especially with this next trick up my sleeve. There's a beautiful hill here. There's plenty of space for the animals to walk, but I'm seeing footprints. I'll show you. Right along here, there's also a little spring right here, which kind of helps to divert animal traffic. That's a game trail if I've ever seen one. It's in a great spot, and I'm gonna put that Calvin Klein's Obsession for Men cologne everywhere, since the Cougars like it, everywhere in this field division. If there's one in the area, I'd hope it should be irresistible. So now we're moving on to our next hotspot, and this is an area that I've wanted to visit since I really started the investigation, and that would be Coboconk. I don't know why I always want to say Coco. It's Coboconk. Anyway. Autumn colors are beautiful, aren't they? Now, what most people don't realize when it comes to things like hydro lines or hiking trails or railroad tracks is just how much easier life is for the animals when they use them like highways. For example, if you had the choice of bushwhacking up and down steep terrain through heavy, densely pocketed bush, or just casually walking along a semi-mowed down hydro line, what would you pick? Well, myself, I'd choose the hydro line path. And that's exactly what cougars do. They pick the path of least resistance, like hydro lines. There's a lot of sightings in Coboconk. I'd actually go as far as saying I think it's the #1 hotspot when it comes to density of cougar sightings in southern Ontario. You can see here there's an obvious game trail. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow that and see where that takes us. Now, it's been proven that what bears, coyotes, wolves, cougars will do, any predatory animals, they will use these hydro lines to hunt. So they'll wait for deer to come out and they'll sneak attack on them outside from the perimeter, right? So I'm a little bit of a sitting duck here, but ironically, I actually feel safer than when I did in the heavy forest, because at least here I have some notice when an animal's coming and I can kind of anticipate it a little bit better. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Now this would be where to camp out overnight. The only thing that freaks me out about that though, it's not even the cougars, it's the black bears. Because you get in the wrong area, in the wrong situation with black bear, they might be curious natured rather than predator natured, but still, you don't want to tangle with a black bear if you don't have to. Look at this, guys. Beautiful. Here's the perfect pinch point. All set up. Camera's working. I can't tell, but I might be hearing growling sounds, or either that or a truck. I'm getting a little spooked. I gotta set up this next camera and get out of here. So the plan here is we're basically using those 2 camera traps like a net in this little valley created by the hydro lines. If an animal wants to walk southward, but doesn't want to walk through the trees and the bushes, it'll have no choice but to walk past one of my 2 camera traps. So we'll see what we catch. We've arrived in Cannington, or Sunderland. Technically, I guess this is Sunderland. For those who don't know, Cannington actually has a really special relationship with mountain lions. I'd actually go as far as saying it's the only town I know of where everyone is really in agreement that they actually have them right in their backyards. Not gonna lie, in some ways I'm a little spooked to be here because my camera, as it recorded this skinny bear, this super skinny bear, but it's huge, it's big, it looks so hungry. And I have this perfume on my hands that the bears like, right? It's a little sketchy in some ways. Felt a lot safer at the hydro line because here, can't really see more than 25 meters away from you. Let's take this back and see what we got, eh? To be honest with you guys, there are moments on my journeys and expeditions where I do have doubts about what I'm doing. As I tell you guys often, I'm not a scientist, right? I'm just a random guy. And when all I get on my trail cams is something like a deer or a bear, it can be discouraging. But then I remember you guys. Really, without your help, this project would never have picked up momentum. And you guys have told me so many things that I just can't easily brush away and discount. So many credible eyewitnesses seeing these animals in eastern Canada. Like a former zookeeper who saw a cougar right outside his window in the middle of the night near Peterborough. Like a former OMNR worker who saw one in Algonquin Park back in 2011. Like a retired police officer who saw one in 2009 after talking with the conservation officers from London and hearing their personal experiences of how they've seen some on the outskirts of the city, and countless reports from hunters, the occasional trappers, and really everyone. I've only been doing this for 10 months now, but you guys have given me over 1,300 sightings, and without going into the specifics of what makes up each one, there's hundreds with a timestamp, an exact location, and you guys are really helping me piece this puzzle together. So how can I not continue? How can I not try and find these extinct animals in our backyards? You know what I think? I think they want company. I think they want company. Let's go say hi. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Just spent the morning here, waking up at McDonald's. I spent the night at like a Walmart. 10 out of 10 review on this Keswick Walmart. Ironically, not as chaotic as I thought it would be. It was okay. And I dove into arts and crafts this morning. Meow. It's actually a fact. Not too many people know this. But mountain lions are actually more closely related to your house cat than they are to lions and tigers. Because of this, they have a ridiculous amount of vocalizations they can do. There's like 7 main ones, which would be purrs, chirps, whistles, meows, growls, hissing, and the most famous of them all being their screams when it's their breeding season in the spring. When people hear a sound like that in the woods, it's not a sound they soon forget. Now, a lot of people ask me why I started this mountain lion journey, or some would call it an obsession. And usually they think that I saw one, but I wasn't able to get it on video. But my own story, that's actually not what happened. I was in high school, and one of my best friends actually saw one, him and his whole family, right in their backyard. And so we were kids, right? And I thought it'd be kind of fun to get a trail cam and try and catch it on camera. So that's what we did. And years later, I took up the hobby again. So that's really my story, guys. That's kind of how I personally got into this. Plus, I find it extremely interesting, and I really love the treasure hunt aspect of it. So what I got planned today is we're gonna go to a few green spaces that are along the 400 highway, areas that a cougar or some animal could cross, likely without getting hit by a car or having a divider in the middle that would stop them. And the purpose of that is to really see if any cougars are truly going north of Toronto and south of Lake Simcoe and going through that passageway. Also, we're gonna go to a bush known as Little Germany. And Little Germany has like nothing but sightings on the whole perimeter. So it's a very promising location, especially since half the sightings have been within the past 12 months. There goes me pants. That's enough of this place. Let's get out of here. As always, here's this video's new photo submissions, which were sent in by the public, and photos which I personally found online myself. Now, as always, guys, please do take these with a grain of salt. They are unconfirmed, and sometimes information comes later which proves that these aren't authentic. So take them as they are. Take them as it's for fun. If you have any cougar sightings yourself, whether you have a photo or not, please do let me know, guys, in the comments section down below. Or if you could, reach out to my email, fishingurbanontario@gmail.com. It's more discreet, and there's a lot more we can do over email than compared to the comments section. I want to ask you guys something. Why is it that Costa Rica, despite how little jaguars they have, they just idolize them? Why is it that China idolizes their tigers, despite how they can occasionally hunt and murder people? Why is it that India idolizes their leopards, but here in Canada, we don't like our big cats at all? These animals are beautiful, they're timid, and they typically don't cause us any problems, and they eat our deer, which reduces roadside collisions. So guys, we need to love our cougars. Okay, you got me there. But what's no joke though, is that these animals are beautiful, and they deserve to live here. There still is so much left to prove with this project. We have to prove that the eastern cougar likely did not go extinct. We have to prove that there's reproducing populations out in Eastern Canada. We have to prove that cubs are being born now in Ontario, and that black cougars exist, if you've seen my other series. But really, what I am confident about is that whether it's me, whether it's a stranger, or you as an audience, the truth is going to come forward, because there's so much more awareness for this right now than there ever has been before. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this series. I really hope that you enjoy my videos. I do try and keep them fun. I try and keep them educational and just exciting. So if you guys are enjoying it, I would highly suggest for you guys to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you guys actually want to see what my trail cams capture in this video, the only way for you really to do that is to join my Facebook group, Everything Ontario Wildlife. So I'll be posting regular updates on there from now on. And you know what, I want to have people be passionate about wildlife, whether it's from Ontario or anywhere on the globe. Because if we can't be passionate about our wildlife, what can we be passionate about, right? So let's love our animals, let's love our home, and as always guys, thanks for watching, and take care.